see there. Shall. Oh, there. And shows it there. Kevin.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Have a good breakfast. Cindy is there. Oh, Vladan is there.
Thank you for the teaching, Rinpoche. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. No problem. Here's a Shalir. Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hi, Bauer.
Rinpoche.
Cindy.
Hi.
Hello. Good morning, Khyentse.
Ah, Cindy. Yes, good morning.
Anyway, the teachings are beautiful, right?
Oh, God.
Cindy, you are doing good. And yes, it's Pamela.
So,
Pamela here.
yeah,
There.
I love this line, Naomi, this line, which like never occurred to me, of course, about youth, like the
What happened?
illusion of strength and ability. Oh my gosh, that's really cool.
Yes, everything is
Our culture
illusory.
is so huge and just for me. So anyway,
Everything is just
onward and
manifestation.
upward. So Phoebe could show us both houses at 2:30.
Okay.
Even though we decided not to do it, but you know, I'm listening to Kenshin and I thought, oh my God, what are we doing here?
Okay, you are doing good.
So I didn't know if David could see them because you guys haven't seen the one house.
No, we haven't. Do you think that it is worth bringing out Phoebe, you know, in this weather? Because I'm certainly willing to come, and I can ask David.
Well, I wanted David to see him because he hasn't seen either one.
Okay, that's fine.
And
Then
sometimes
we'll do
David
that.
is very inspiring, or he might not. You know, I really appreciate David's ideas about these things.
That's fine.
Good morning. Can I ask you what text you are reading from?
I'm not. This is you said the opening the treasure of the profound.
Oh, that has the song in it.
Yes, it has the song and the commentary.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. All right,
Yes,
I have
yes.
that text, so I'll get
Okay,
it. All right,
yes.
so I don't have to print it. Thank you.
I have a short break. Bhagavana Sarvatatangadam Bhadramamim Bhanjam Bhavama Samaya Sadhu. Thank you, everybody. Okay. So now Lord Jigten Sumgon is giving this teaching. One of his disciples who died suddenly, you know, and knowing the condition of his mind, so according to the need of his mind, and he was now giving these teachings, which is exactly what we need these days in our relative state and absolute state, you see. And we are in the relative state. We need to reflect on the absolute emptiness, but our life is, since it's a relative state, we have to understand and know how to handle our relative state of the mind and the life. So these teachings has a complete, you know, form of the teachings, right from the beginning to the step to our all daily life and towards the enlightenment. You know? That way, the very nature of the mind, that what we have itself is nothing but is absolute. It's just a matter of our realization. It's a matter of our understanding, you know. But as I mentioned, since the mind is very complex and it's very sophisticated, and then it's ambiguous. Sometimes we our own mind, I don't know how to handle, our habits takes our direction in the wrong place. And then we think that's the right thing, but in reality, it's not right thing. It is confused and under the control of the mental afflictions, under the control of our ignorance, So here these teachings are giving us such great opportunity step by step in our daily life to reflect. We need to reflect this again and again. Don't feel that I know it, Oh yeah, I know it. I studied this a long time ago, I want something new, And then always we're looking something new and we're not practicing what we have. Other day, one practitioner from other place wrote me, can you give me this, some sophisticated practice? And I said, you are not practicing what you have. You want more and more and more. At the end, you got nothing. And that person acknowledged, that's right. We got so much and we don't realize, So what I have, think is, this is not really this, a solution. I need something special thing, for the solution. But actually we have the teaching. We have received the teaching before many times, but we don't appreciate. We don't have such wisdom to accept it, to practice it, to go through it, So our ego just go and go, this is ego clinging, So as mentioned, so we, now all those teachings that we have studied, we read, you received from many other great teachers, but still we need to refresh every day. That's what I say. Every day is the first day to refresh. So that's why Milarepa said, I was afraid of the death. And I escaped to the mountain. And while I was in the mountain, every day I practiced the impermanence of the death. It's the uncertainty time of the death. We don't know when, today or tomorrow. We never know. So by contemplating on this impermanence all the time, so he said, now I realize the deathless nature. So I capture the fortress of the Nyuma. This is the complete emptiness, all nature, emptiness, nature. So now he said, I have no fear if death can come anytime. So we need to reflect this. Impermanence is such a precious, and as I always just mention this, express this. First is very easy to reflect. Secondly, it's very effective. It helps to reduce our ego, our attachment, and all this. So now now next, I will read the verse. When you see the suffering of birth and death, the happiness of assemblies of gods and man is a lie. The joy and suffering of the wheel of samsara, can you put your trust in it? See, this is also very important. Even though we don't remember our birth, we remember our birth, like say when we were 3 years old, or maybe some 2 or 4, 5. From there, we just reflect our life, not at the time of birth, no, not after a few days of the birth. We don't remember at all. But there's such a pain at the time of birth. The mother go through such excruciating pain, the sufferings there. The baby as well has such suffering. Because of that, the baby cries, helpless. Some say the birth is such a happy movement. If it is very happy moment, why the child should cry, screaming, you know, as much as possible, screaming, because the pain is so much, cannot take it, but no choice. So we went through like that kind of suffering. Then death, now you can see, we all know about it. They are called now retirement. Also, it becomes not, it becomes such a big business, you see, retirement, you know. You should have this retirement, you should have that, your life will be much better, beautiful, you get all the support, what you need. Oh, there's so much, advertisement, you see, but everything costs something. There's no free, you know. They will tell you all the good things, but it's not free, you know. So it costs a fortune. All you work, all your whole life, now that's your time you have to spend there now. See, look at this, you see. So our life began with the suffering and end with the suffering. See, look at this. That's why I say, you know, suffering of birth and death. It's very profound, you see. Reflect on it. Because since I'm now getting old, people who are around me, they're talking so much about my retirement. This insurance is better than this. This insurance covers this. This insurance covers it, and this doesn't cover this. This, all this, and that means you have to pay. You know, as I mentioned, you know, and when you pay means there's pain. You know, all that you made in this your whole life. Now you have the time to. It is time to spend. See. So look at this. No, this is samsara. Without dharma, now there's no essence. See, no matter how much you enjoy your youth, now at the time of retirement, when you retired, when you participate in the retirement, it's not fun. It's a suffering. You see. So I can see this, you know. But now I'm so fortunate. Now I have a place to live. I don't have to find special place. And then I have enough to spend things for my food and everything. So I'm so grateful. I'm really feeling so grateful. I appreciate everybody, you know. But I see the suffering outside. So much. And no matter how good retirement is there, we can't become younger and younger. You see. Things become more costly. More costly. Now what we should do? No? So like this, you see, this here, see. So I say, oh, let's go to have this fun, that fun, you know. It's all just illusory nature. Of course, it doesn't mean you don't enjoy your life. See, it doesn't mean that, you know. Please, no, don't get a wrong understanding. Oh, Buddhists are talking life is a suffering, you know, this bad, you know. You see, yeah. We have to be very kind of what you call incisive. No, we should have such incisive seeing things precisely, what we can do about it, reflect on it. So these teachings, such, you know, as we went through mind training, such a precious thing, you know, reflect all in the samsara. Even animals, you see, animals when they're born at the time of birth, how much suffering is there. All the animals you see, look into the wild animals. Then when they get old, they cannot walk. And the predators, tigers, you know, all this, they come and eat. How much suffering they have, you see. They cannot run away. No strength. So we're in the middle of all those mixed happiness, suffering. So that happiness, what we have, is not trustworthy happiness. Basically saying, you know, that disappears very easily. So reflect on this, meditate. Don't so much attach to our happiness that what we have. As well, also, not so much aversion to suffering what we have. Because having aversion on the suffering what we have doesn't solve suffering as well, or doesn't solve the problem as well, you know. So we have to realize, understand illusory nature. And then we meditate how to get out of this vicious cycle. That's the Dharma practice. That's why renunciation. Renounce means I must attain to Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. That's called cultivation of the bodhicitta, is come out within this vicious cycle, understanding the vicious cycle of the samsara, and then motivates to free from that cycle and to attain Buddhahood. Since sentient beings are within this cycle, we develop compassion to all others and wish them to free from samsara, achieve enlightenment. So it's interdependent. All the causes and conditions are depend on this to cultivate bodhicitta. It's such a precious thing, you know. But first, yes, it's very important to understand what samsara is about. Because generally you can see in the West, we try to make pure land on this planet. You know, we built a beautiful house, air conditioning in the summer, heating system in the winter, There's a swimming pool outside of your house. You can swim there freely. All things. And you have a refresh house, room, refresh room there. We try to make purulent in this place, But at the end of the day, you can see how purulent it is. You can see. So you look at this, meditate, and how much we spend time there, how much we spend resource there to make that productive, beautiful place, and how much you can get much benefit from there. Again, I'm not saying these things are bad. These are wonderful, beautiful things. But we cannot so much spend time there for the whole life, hundreds and thousands of years. See? We can spend there, first of all, when you're young, we have to make money, isn't it? Or some say big companies, business, they have to make money, isn't it? And then you have to organize, and then you build with such a great, grand project and make things. And when finally, when it's married, and you have not much time to spend their time. Sometimes you have a house, summer house, winter house in Florida, summer house in Montana. All this you see. But you don't have much time. Maybe like a week, 2 weeks, not more than a month. Then you see all this, you can see it. So when you see these things in your mind, you can develop such great compassion because you have the wisdom. See, wisdom is very important, especially wisdom, not just collection of the informations, but wisdom of the causality. No, the wisdom of the realization of the emptiness, Mahamudra. It's very important. So when you have that kind of awareness, and then compassion rise, and then there is such a great beauty in your mind, in your heart. As earlier mentioned, then whatever you have, you appreciate. You rejoice. And that is the wealth. When we know how to rejoice ourselves, when we know how to content ourselves, that's the best wealth. That follows with you anywhere you go. And there's great peace, great happiness, and you appreciate, you see. So meditate on these things. So here, the happiness of the assembly of gods and men is alive. The joy and suffering of the wheel of samsara. See, wheel. The joy and the suffering, just one after another. There's not just one. Since we're Buddha nature, there comes a glimpse of joy, happiness. Even in the hell realm, it's from the manifestation of Buddha nature. Every ruthless person, they manifest some compassion, some love. No, it's there. But at the same time, due to our obscurations, then manifest this cause, they manifest their suffering, physical suffering, mental suffering, one after another, you see. So it's a vicious cycle, you see. Look at this. So from this cycle, the most important is, as I mentioned, see this nature and cultivate the mind to attain complete Buddhahood. So that's the wisdom of the Buddha, you see. There's nothing special, but what gives us is the instruction, direct reality nature of the samsara and nirvana, enlightenment. Where we're the samsara, we have to live our life, but we have to manage how to live the life wisely. That's why when we have bodhicitta, when we know how to appreciate, rejoice, we age with the dignity. See, we age with the less fear. We die with the dignity, not out of ego. No. I've heard of there some people say, oh, you have to die with the dignity, with the ego, with the confusion. With the ego, with the confusion, you cannot die with the dignity. But you die with the dignity, with the wisdom, compassion, accepting what is happening. So this wisdom we can learn from the Dharma teaching, from the wisdom of the Buddha. So we're so fortunate. No. First, as I reminded many times, you appreciate yourself. You rejoice yourself. So I'm so fortunate. I have Dharma in my life. I'm not converted into Buddhist, but I am way that my mind is developed, meditate. And I got opportunity to kind of dispel the confusion. When the confusion is surrounded out in our heart, then there's nothing but all the mental afflictions. And then that leads into suffering. See? So meditate on this, see? So study, practice of Dharma teaching is not a converting into Buddhist. Make sure you understand that, But it gives you opportunity to see the samsara directly and how to free from the samsara, how to achieve enlightenment. That is our study and practice of Dharma is about. So please reflect on this. Remind ourselves. Otherwise, sometimes we say, oh, I'm converting to Buddhist, So I'm confused now, what should I do? I should do this or that and this, So there comes really confusion. Make sense? So it's very important now. We all have the responsibility to make this to understand. And then follow the path with joyfully. See, if we just follow as a belief system, so I believe this, you believe that, that believe this believe that, then you can say converted. No, so I am converted into Christian. I am converted into Hinduism. I am converted into Islam, you know, and I'm converted into Buddhist. So Buddhists believe there's karma. Buddhists believe there's a rebirth, you know. Buddhists believe this, that. And then Christian believe this, and then say Muslim believe this. Then say, we can say converted. Make sense? But here, what important is use our mental power, awareness, intelligence, investigate, see what your mind is about. Then you can appreciate, respect all other religions. You see, Christian has a lot of things to offer. Respect. No. Islam has also a lot of things. Hinduism has a lot of things to offer. Respect. People get benefit from their, what they follow. But you have such a confidence. Practice. See? So as you see, the whole world is, the whole universe is constituted within the framework of the causality. That's very obvious, very clear. And bodhicitta, universal mind, pervades to all sentient beings. If we have the bodhicitta, that is real non-sectarian. See, sometimes in the Buddhist now, I heard in the US, there's a Buddhist, we have different school, Kagyu school, Gilu, Saja, Nyingma, Bon, all this. Now they have this organization called non-sectarian, There's a sixth school, it's called non-sectarian school. Becomes a sectarian, So we follow non-sectarian. So you are sectarians. It's a little confusing, isn't it? Mm. But if you practice bodhicitta, your mind of the bodhicitta pervades to all the sentient beings. You are the real non-sectarian. You respect all the religions and you follow the path without confusion. Make sense? These are such a precious thing. You just stay in your room and practice the Dharma, this bodhicitta. And you appreciate, you rejoice. And make your mind peace, relax. So that's this just, when you see the suffering of birth and death, the happiness of assemblies of gods and man is a lie. The joy and suffering of the wheel of samsara, think, can you put your trust in it? Means while you are suffering, there's some happiness, there's some joy. When there's a joy, there's a suffering. So you cannot trust both of them. See. Now next I should try this, say this. To the tree, the father bodhicitta. See. The bias of the disciple is a lie. Non-virtuous and misleading friends think, can you put your trust in them? So this first, to the tree, the father bodhicitta, is a metaphor. The tree, big giant tree, you see, when there's such a hot weather, sunshine, the sun is burning. And if you go under the tree, then there's a breeze. You feel so coolness, fresh. So that tree has no any bias. Anybody who go under that tree, the feeling is same to all. So that's I mentioned bodhicitta is unbiased, like the tree. No. So who is the bodhicitta? Is the father, is the mother. Father to all the sentient beings. Mother to all the sentient beings. That's what it's called, we call Panchana Paramita, the mother Panchana Paramita. No, as a mother gives birth to a child, so wisdom mother, Panchana Para, gives the birth of the son of Sharavaka, Partika Buddha, Bodhisattva, Buddha. She has four sons. Sharavaka, Partika Buddha, Bodhisattva, and Buddha. They all become in that way because the Panchana Paramita, the wisdom mother. So, bodhicitta is the mother of all sentient beings. Bodhicitta is the father of all sentient beings. See? So we should try that, practice this. So what a marvelous, no, what more thing you need than this? You should just rejoice, practice this, and you share this with others. No. That's as a Buddha's teaching. It's not something pessimistic. It's not something negative. But at the end of the day, when we practice, you got the victory from all directions. So that's why we need to understand the confusion of the samsara. That's why there's some negatives, like, attachment to the 8 worldly concerns, attachment to our body, attachment to our ego, and these things, because when we attach to these, they take all the space. And we have no space for cultivate bodhicitta. We have no space to realize the Paramita, the Mahamudra teachings. So to cultivate bodhicitta, to realize Mahamudra, we have to make space. Space in the mind. So to make this space, we have to understand the limitation of these, what in the samsara, which are important. Having said the bodhicitta, you see, many of you know what bodhicitta is about. No. Bodhicitta, there's a philosophy of bodhicitta and the practice of bodhicitta. The philosophy of bodhicitta, you read books, you go to the lectures. The professors, they will lecture about the bodhicitta. But we don't know if they have bodhicitta or not. But they studied this about the bodhicitta for many years. So they are very expert lecturing about the bodhicitta. But for the practice, we have to bring in our heart. See, these are difference, you see. So that's why, as I mentioned, when one lectures, gives all different lectures, if you go to the universities, the professors, they will give you lectures. So then they will tell you about the belief system. This is what Buddhists believe. See, it's not become a life. It's a belief. Buddhists believe rebirth. But if it is a life, it's not a belief, it's a matter of understanding. But rebirth is reality. We forgot. Some people say, how, Then we say, even as I mentioned, even at the time of birth, we don't remember. How you can remember previous life? Even this life, we don't remember. Or where you are going to university, college, all the books you studied, after a few years, you forgot. Like me, I studied quite a bit Buddhist teaching, but I forgot. I forgot many of them. So I read those books, I taught those books, but now I forgot. So a life and lecturers, there's two different things. You have to understand that. So here we're discussing how to bring bodhicitta in your heart. It's like a food you are eating. All the good food you are eating, you're chewing. You are experiencing the taste. So practicing bodhicitta is like that. We're chewing the bodhicitta, making fresh ourselves, meditating, practice this. So I desire to attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. In front of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. And you appreciate, you rejoice. Then we follow the path. So first, called aspiration bodhicitta. You aspire to attain Buddhahood. Then after that, you follow the path. It's called action bodhicitta. Practicing the 6 parameters. You have such a devotion to bodhicitta. Immense. So you know Atisha. When Atisha talks about bodhicitta, tears follow into his eyes. There's just a small amount of bodhicitta that I have because of that Lama Selimba. Has such a great appreciation. Feels so fortunate. We should all practice this. Practice bodhicitta while you are walking, while you are eating, when you get sick, when you die. That's the part of teaching, that you practice the bodhicitta. You die with bodhicitta. Because your mental reflection, your mental form of bodhicitta will never deceive you, will take you in the right place. So I say, Lord Jigten Sumgon, his heart is adorned with the bodhicitta. The relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta. No biased disciple can deceive me. So you Rinchen up. You transform your mind into bodhicitta. All the friends who are biased, they deceive you. But your mind cannot deceive yourself when you are bodhicitta. You see, the bias of disciple is a lie. Non-virtuous, misleading friends, you see. Think, can you put your trust? The friends who is being a bias, misleading, so don't follow after them. You follow in the right path. That's what I mentioned earlier. When you're bodhicitta, you become the non-sectarian. You become the leader of all the sentient beings. Because all the sentient beings under your umbrella of bodhicitta. When the sunshine of the bodhicitta rises from the east, it dispels the darkness of all the sentient beings, the ignorance, delusion. So meditate on this, reflect on this. Now next, when you understand that all sentient beings are your parents, attachment to self-cherishing is a lie. The Sharavakas, this vehicle of self-liberation, think, can you put your trust in it? Now, you know, we have in the Buddhist, there's called Hinayana, Mahayana, you know. So Sharavaka is a Hinayana. Here, Lord Jigten Sumgon is not saying they are wrong, but they're limited. It's a path, step by step. There are some individuals now who want to follow that. For the time being, yes, they have to. They go through that, achieve that, and then Sharavaka Arhats. Because those individuals, they are totally exhausted the suffering of samsara. They are overwhelmed the suffering of samsara. They're desperate to free from that excruciating pain of the samsara. So for those individuals, they choose that path for the time being. But when they're well rested, then finally they cultivate bodhicitta and attain Buddhahood. So we Dhamma study practitioners, if you have such, you can follow, but it's for the time being. It's not the absolute. But best choice is when you know all sentient beings, your parents, your mother, your father, how much suffering they are going through, how much delusions they have. So you dare not give up them. No. And we need a tenacious effort, a tenacious kind of diligence. We need practicing the bodhicitta, the 6 parameters, to repay the kindness of all the sentient beings. There are a lot of people who are hungry. You can give some food, but that's not the solution of the suffering. There are many who are cold, no clothes. You can give some clothes, but that's not the solution of the suffering. The total solution of the suffering is the practicing of bodhicitta. Once you accomplish the bodhicitta practice, then life after life, you can benefit sentient beings. As Shantidevas mentioned, as long as this space remains, as long as the sentient beings endure, may I benefit all sentient beings. What a marvelous thought. Cultivation, practice, you see. So you should do what you can in this life, but we don't expect everything, all the problems solved in this life. But it's life after life, life after life. It's because of the bodhicitta. When you realize the Mahamudra, emptiness, while you are having the bodhicitta, you are free from all the fear. Well, you accomplish yourself, then there's no expectation. So mind, when it's free from expectation and the fear, then that is the nirvana. There's no special place nirvana to go. Well, we're here in the samsara. You can benefit sentient beings. So right now, our focus is practice the bodhicitta. Exercise it. Meditate on this. Since our mind is not free from all these delusions, mental afflictions, we can encounter a lot of challenges, but we have the Dhamma teachings to counteract all these obstacles. No? So we meditate on this, practice on this. So then slowly we realize from the relative bodhicitta, absolute bodhicitta, these all steps we take. Like a small tree, seedling, the seedling from the seed, few leaves grow. It will grow step by step. The small seedling will not become a big tree at that moment, but we have to let grow to the giant tree. When a small seedling, small tree, we have to take care. We need a lot of hands to take care of that. But once when it grows, big tree, like in California, we have a red tree, giant, huge red tree, then doesn't need fences. So bodhicitta, where as a beginner, we need a lot of fences. Means like say, reflecting on the impermanence, reflecting on the suffering of samsara. Then you see, reflect on the causality. The causality is very important. Now, we here in the US saying no one is above the law, So in the Buddha's teaching, so no one is above the karma. Even Buddha follows the karma. Buddha taught the karma and follows the karma. We cannot ignore the karma, causality. That's very important. Because, at the time of Buddha, some great, highly accomplished his disciple, they go through such a difficult time, such a great suffering, and they call upon Buddha. So what is happening, Then Buddha says, it's a result of the karma. No? So that's why Buddha taught all the karma causalities. We to take care. No? Just right at the Buddha started with a very simple thing, not such a difficult. So there's called 10 non-virtues. No? Then you study those 10 non-virtues. And then there's called 10 virtues. You just practice them. Even 1, 2, 3, step by step. See? It's so precious, you see. We no need to be overwhelmed. If you just take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, it's so precious because your mind is connected with the Buddha. Precious. See? So that, okay. So here I said about the bodhicitta, there's the first, also the tree, the father of bodhicitta, and then when you understand that all sentient beings are your parents, attachment to self-cherishing is a lie. So now next, when you become convinced of convinced of cause and result of karma, the instruction of non-effort is a lie. Thunder without rain in an empty sky. Think, can you put your trust in it? So that's just I mentioned about the karma. Sometimes when you receive very profound teachings of the emptiness, then teacher will say, now within this profound emptiness, there's no virtue and non-virtue. Especially when some practitioners who are not ready yet. Yes, from the point of view of emptiness itself, yes, the virtue, the nature of the virtue itself is empty. The nature of the non-virtue itself is empty. You see. But that virtue, non-virtue, manifests the result without any concern. As you know, the form is emptiness. Famous, you know. The emptiness is the form. Form is no other than emptiness. And emptiness is no other than form. Everyone knows this, you see. So now, the karma is emptiness. And emptiness is the karma. Karma is no other than emptiness. And emptiness is no other than karma. Make sense? See, right now, my form here is emptiness. But I'm suffering. It's not empty. I'm aging, you know. I'm getting sick. The body is emptiness. The form, I'm suffering. It's empty karma. Please understand that. So practitioners who follow steps by step, as I mentioned, first when you understand the impermanence, when you understand impermanence, then you get a glimpse. We get a glimpse of the not substantial. No, even though we perceive as real, I can touch. I can see this, what I saw yesterday. No, still we have this. But you see, you have some glimpse of this is not real because it's impermanent. Once we have that, then step by step, that's why Jewel Ornament of Liberation is such a wonderful book, you see. First, it describes the gross impermanence. You see, gross. This whole planet, once established in the space, eventually will be destroyed, say, by fire, by water, by wind, you know, and again will rebuild like this. Then you say, oh, okay. Then after that, it explains, more or less, say, or less gross impermanence. Look at the 4 seasons, you see. In the summer, like here now in the medicine, in the summer there's a lot of flowers, beautiful, green, so now snow, ice, see. Yesterday I walked, it's a lot of snow, and then there's wind, and all the wind blow, and then all the snow fell on the road. I had a real hard time to cross that. So like this, you see, totally different. Then I can see how this is impermanent. See, that book is such beautifully. Then after that, more, less gross. So now day and night. In the morning when the sun rises, you breaks, the night, darkness gone. You can see everything clearly. And at night, when dark comes, you have a fear. You lock the door, you lock the windows, you know. You see, then moment to moment, you see, this morning now is the daytime, I mean the noon, then evening, then there is like the current of the water running. No, just what you saw, the water is just run gone. So you see that book is such a precious book, you see, like that. And so this way you can see everything is impermanence. Then emptiness lead to the emptiness, you see. Yeah. Now, causality is now we're talking about. Please know the causality is such a profound. Milarepa said, you can understand emptiness more easily than causality, he said. The causality is deep, is a deeper meaning. No? Only Buddha can tell. Only Buddha's wisdom can see the role of the causality. Even the great Bodhisattvas may not give you total causality teachings. So that's then next, for the Guru who has the realization of power and blessing, the obstacle of maras and error is a lie, shuddering prayers like a parrot. Can you put your trust in that? This means the Guru, the great teacher who imparts the bodhicitta. Now this bodhicitta, both relative, absolute bodhicitta. That Guru, he or she totally imparts nothing but bodhicitta, realization of the Mahamudra. And you see, no Mara can obstruct. Like Buddha, when he attained Buddhahood in Bodh Gaya, or Milarepa, when he attained the Buddhahood, no Maras could obstruct. So then we don't have to just rely on some prayers. I have this problem, can you say some prayers? And then the teacher says, oh yes, you chant this prayer, maybe you chant this prayer, or this mantra, you know. It's like a parrot, the parrot chanting the mantras. You teach the parrot, you know, say, oh mani pemo, the parrot say, oh mani pemo, you know. So everyone should practice bodhicitta, make the embodiment of bodhicitta. And all the obstacles becomes a blessing. Obstacle no longer obstacle. Obstacle becomes a blessing. No? Then that moment, samsara becomes nirvana. See? That's how we understand the nature of samsara as a nirvana. Make sense? Otherwise, if we see obstacle as an obstacle all the time, how you can achieve nirvana? Not possible. No. Even you go to Devachan, there's obstacles. You see? So please make sure this you see practice bodhicitta all the way. You know, I was putting so much emphasis on this. And all the minor teachings, all the bodhicitta avatara, you look at right from the beginning to the end, bodhicitta is all about. Even the highest yoga tantra, Vajrayana, without bodhicitta, cannot do anything. No? Okay, now this Now, next is, next, when you realize the nature of your mind, the three limitless kalpas are also aligned. The deceptive vehicle of relative truth, think can you put your trust in it? So we know our historical Buddha Shakyamuni, he practiced for 3 limitless aeons to become the Buddha. But on the other hand, Milarepa attained Buddhahood in 1 lifetime. And there are others who attain Buddhahood even in 1 second, 1 moment. See, so it's just, yes, what it's saying is not just rely on all the time 3 limitless kalpas to become Buddha. If we have a good teacher, good students, and if we have a nerve, ability, enlightenment, Buddhahood is any time. And you should realize your nature of the mind. So Buddhahood is not outside somewhere else. You don't have to go to the Pure Land to attain Buddhahood. Here you can achieve the Buddhahood. But practice the bodhicitta and realize your nature of the mind. When you realize your nature of the mind, you become Buddha. So Buddha is within. Buddha is not in your palm, but in your heart. So Jigten Sumgon is giving instruction to his disciple now, Rinzheta. See, don't wait for Buddhahood for many lives. Right now, you have the opportunity to achieve Buddha. You simply pay attention here on your nature of the mind. When you captured the full sphere. Sphere. If you understand, realize this full sphere of your mind, you become Buddha. That's your mind, not outside, but it's within you. All those teachings are true, to realize your mind. But until you realize, you cannot ignore all the others. So Milarepa said, when I realized one, means his own mind, then I know everything. See? Because the two wisdoms, wisdom knowing as it is, and wisdom knowing everything. There are no separation. They're in one nature. When you realize that you know everything, means you become Buddha. It's within us. So that's why anybody who now went to see Milarepa, ask questions, he has everything to say. There's nothing lacking. No. But we should have a nerve that we should accept what he said. Sometimes there are some scholars, in his life story, that don't accept him, When he said, I know, I have nothing to judge, Oh, you are claiming you know everything. And Milarepa said, what should I say, I know it, then what should I say? Now here is his Lord Jigten Sumgon's last teaching, direct teaching to him. In the gathering relaxed cemetery, now your body is in the cemetery. No, in the, what do you call? In the cemetery. You are you sad? Do you feel sad now? Are you sad, son, at being alone? Are you feel sad, feeling of little embarrassing by yourself on this channel ground, channel ground? So then suppose he say, yes, no. Then Jigten Sumgon says, you don't have to feel sad. No, since nothing lasts and all must die, you should not feel sad. Everybody will die, including me, no, Lord Jigten Sumgon says. No, I'm here for you. I'm your teacher. I'm your guru. You don't feel sad. You totally rely on me. Because you came to see me and you served me. You received teachings on me and I'm here for you. See, no? So say, Renjeta, do not be attached to anything, to your fame, to yourself. Just relax. Everything's like a rainbow. Everything's like a mirage. There's nothing to attach to. See, if your mind is still attached, transfer it to your guru's mind. Means Jigten Sumgon's enlightened mind. You just transfer your mind into my mind. This called Dhammakaya forward. See now, that's what teacher is about. The great teacher who is enlightened, they have all the ability to help the students. When the student has such great devotion, interaction, interconnection, they say the teacher should have ability, quality, no? And the student should have such confidence, devotion, without artificial. Through this interdependent, that the student has opportunity to transfer his or her mind to Guru's mind. That's why you see, I kind of put together, there are some short Guru Yoga. Many of you have found it. Some may not, but you can find them. You say, those are, I made available. There's a Vajradhara Guru Yoga. There is a Milarepa, Kampupa, Pamutupa, and Jigten Sumgon. And each of those Guru Yoga, there's some chanting prayers, mantras, supplications. Then at the end, to receive initiation, these four empowerments. Then at the end, the Guru dissolves into you, and you become that Guru. That's the Dhammakaya power. You have heard of power? Many of you have heard of power. So that's how you can receive the power. If you practice this every day, becomes familiarized. When you become familiar, and you familiarize on this, feel comfortable, then at the time of death, you can practice this. And this is the best help you can get. See, everyone can understood this. So now Lord Jigten Sumgon is directly speaking to Ranjendra. You can transfer your consciousness into my heart, because Jigten Sumgon's heart, mind is enlightened mind. At that moment, he attained the Buddhahood. See, so that because of that, now you see, just to finish this last few lines, Ranjendra's body was then cut open and found to contain numerous relics in the form of small multicolored pills. There were so many of them that they had to be swept together with the brooms. So all just the relics was just scattered so many, like a bag. When the bag was full of rice, if it is bread, all the rice was scattered. So like that, his relics were so, and so they have to kind of swept, bring together by the brooms. So that's his last miracle power. That's Ranjendra's last miracle power. How you find this now? Is acceptable?
Very good.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so that's how, please practice Dharma, That's Dharma is for, you see. Dharma is not something, as mentioned, as something rituals, some melodious chanting, so spend your time. It's not that. It is something that how you can capture your mind. See, how make your mind friendly yourself. Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
So I
Thank
hope,
you.
yeah, I hope it helps you.
Yes, it does.
Oh, Whitney.
Yeah, hello, Kenchila.
Oh,
Yeah.
Whitney,
Thank you.
everyone knows Whitney. I met her in Washington, D.C. in the 80s.
1987.
Yeah, somewhere there.
1987.
On Clara from Chile.
Yeah. Yes, we met a long time ago.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So wonderful. I'm so happy to see you all.
Me
Thank
too.
you very much.
Yes. Now, Dharma is this what is about for,
Yeah, we are practicing
yeah.
bodhicitta.
Yeah, please practice the Dharma. Take refuge in the
Yeah.
Buddha Dharma Sangha, and then practice the bodhicitta. And for this dark age, the bodhicitta is most powerful remedy. Will give you comfort, courage, finally fearlessness Thank you, everybody.
Good.
I'm so
Thank
happy
you.
to
Thank
see
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Wonderful. Okay.
Thank you.
Judy
We'll
J.
see you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kanchanla. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your interest in the
Thank
Dharma
you very
study
much.
practice. Yes. Yeah. Now,
Gracias,
Bye-bye.
Rinpoche, gracias.
yeah, you know, I have everything.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Kanchanla.
Gracias, Rinpoche.
Yeah, don't worry about me.
Stay well and healthy.
Yes.
Rinpoche.
I have some very wonderful people around there. So,
You look
Thank
so
you.
wonderful.
excuse me, Whitney.
You look so wonderful.
Oh, thank you. You too.
You haven't changed.
Yeah, it's changeless. Anyway.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, please, first take a deep breath.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Yeah. Please inhale fully and exhale. Now, when you breathe in bodhicitta and occupy whole your body and mind, bodhicitta. And you become like the space, infinite. Okay, thank you. Now, if you want to say some dedication prayers.
Yes, Bauer is going to say our prayers. He's going to
Going to
lead.
put them on the screen.
Sure.
Okay.
By this virtue may I achieve omniscience by defeating all enemies of confusion. May all who travel on the ways of birth, old age, sickness, and death, cross the ocean of samsara. May every ailing with disease be freed at once from every malady. May all the sickness that afflict the living be instantly and permanently healed. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray that the Lama may have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri, the warrior, realized
the ultimate state,
and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path, fully dedicate all merit for all sentient beings. By the blessings of the Buddha who attained the three kayas, by the blessing of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order, may the merit I share bear fruit. By the virtues collected in the three times by myself and all beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the innate root of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed, perfect, complete, precious enlightenment. May the teachings of the great Bhikkhun Ratna Shri, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Namaste.
Thank you.